We are live. Yes. Here we go. Here we go. So we have action. Guys, as you are jumping onto the live, if you can hit that like button, drop a little comment in the box below and share this wide across the board. So I'm absolutely buzzing for this one tonight. Mr. Davy Brophy, no just an exceptional talent boxer, but he played for the mighty Arabs as well. So buzzing with that one. But yeah, David Brophy, Commonwealth champion, super middleweight champion, mate. Yeah. Yep. And this is it for tonight, guys. So absolutely buzzing. As I said, remember, drop us a little comment. Let us make sure that you can hear us loud and clear, and let's get it shared out to as many people as possible and hear Brophs' inspirational story. So, mate, first of all, thanks so much for coming on.
No worries, mate. Looking forward to it.
Let's do it. So, see if that's coming. Yes, we're in. Yes. I'm just making sure that people could hear us loud and clear.
That's all right.
So, mate, what have you been up to, man? What have you been up to?
Nothing, mate. It's pretty sunny here, so just been enjoying the day. But I was in the gym earlier. That's about it. That's about as much as we can do now during this lockdown, isn't it?
I know, mate. I know, totally. 18 solid weeks before we got our shop open, mate. I thought it was never going to end.
That's crazy. I'm lucky enough. I've got my own gym, so I can kind of use it whenever I want. So, but for anybody else, it's not got a gym. I don't know what they're up to. I
know, mate. I know. Training every day, mate. That's what keeps you sane, eh?
Trying anyway.
So, what's the lockdown been like for you yourself, mate?
At the start, it was kind of like a holiday stuff. I'm not gonna lie. You're sitting a Tuesday night with a bottle of beer, and you're like, "What's happening here?" So, and then it just kind of went like any bad habits. And that it could have easily went any bad habits, but I just started training again. I started doing hill walking and stuff. I just keep your mind occupied. But
nice.
I started doing the garden and things like that. Just things to keep you busy. If not, you would have went. I think it would have went insane. I think.
Here, the gardens I've seen on Facebook has been mental, mate. It's like everybody spent their holiday money building these big man caves and bars.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I wish I had a man cave. I'm not allowed one.
You know, I've been asking for it as well.
Nah, I'm not allowed one.
The boss has put a foot down on that.
That's it.
So, mate, I'm going to take you right back to the start of your journey for your boxing and where it all began for you, mate. So,
I started when I was really young. I actually get sent there to give me a bit of discipline, so I was a bit of a handful when I was younger. But my dad really sent me. Me and my mate went there when we were really young, maybe 12 or something like that. We started, and it was just kind of just for a laugh, and started, and we just kind of took to it a duck to water, and just get more serious, and I was the only one that stayed on. My mate never stayed at it, so and it just kind of stayed there all the time. We started at the 4 Hours Boxing Club. It was a good established club, but it never did anything so special that. But it was good. It was just in a community centre, so we just kind of went through that, and I think it was only me and another boy actually that would have went professional from it. But it was a good club, and then it did give me a lot of discipline, and it just started there. And then we started getting into fights, and I think I fought until right up. I went to Dundee United when I was at school, and then went back to it, and then just straight into professional after that.
What age were you when you had your first fight?
I must have been maybe 13 or something. Must have been. I can remember where it was. It was in the Airdrie Workman's Club. I can always remember that, and I can remember I was only 50 kilos. So that's how long ago it was.
50 kilos.
50 kilos.
50 kilos. What is that? About 7.5 stone.
It's light. It's probably one of my dinners in
there. Therefore. So what was it like going at your first fight?
It was. So I was always kind of nervous. It was only until the tail end of my career of being professional, I wasn't really getting nervous. I was getting excited. But always kind of used to, if you weren't nervous, you were going to be mental because you're going to fight someone. So you're always really nervous like, until the stage where it's right before the ring. You're like, what the fuck am I doing? To get into this ring to fight somebody. But then as soon as the first bell went, the nerves went away and you enjoyed it. And I think the nerves did make you want to fight. But I think just by the end of my career, you've just done it that long, you didn't get nervous. So
yep.
Did
you win that?
I did.
Did you win that first fight?
I did win the first fight. I was only ever beat once in Scotland, and it was a guy. He's actually dead now. He died, and I'd beat him twice after that. His name was Neely Baxter, but it's the only person ever beat me in Scotland.
What was it like on the British level?
British, I got 2 British silvers in the Four Nations, so I got 2 British silvers. I went to the Europeans as well. I think I got to the last 8 or something. That was in Albania. That was an eye opener going to Albania. That was crazy. It's countries. It's just a right eye opener. But I had a good amateur career. It was mostly junior right enough because the time to go to senior, I was already at Dundee United. So I think I only had 2 or 3 senior fights when I went back after Dundee United. And then just went straight into professional. You're at the age now you kind of want to make money at it. So that's where I am. So
I had Sam Hickey on, who's obviously still amateur now.
Yep.
He was telling us and he's done a lot of travelling with the Scottish squad.
He's a good fighter. He's very good.
He's a good prospect, man.
Yep.
What he was saying about going over to the Eastern European countries and that is just crazy.
It's mental. I couldn't believe it when I got there, but we were only young at the time, and it was mental. See, even the roads and stuff like that, and just the way they cooked. I can remember they always cooked our dinner in this hotel we were in. We were getting chicken, and they actually had a chicken pen, and they cut the heat off of the chicken in front of us, right in front of us, and then we had to sit and eat that night. I need to get this country. I need to get this country.
Where was that?
Albania.
And it was that in Albania?
It was in the capital, Tirana or something like that, but it was crazy. It was a mental country.
Brilliant. What was it like pulling on the Scotland jersey, mate?
It was good. I captained the Scotland team when I went away there, when I was young. So, but it was good that we got a vote in your own team. So, but all the other guys we all kind of knew one another. But it was good. Used to put in give me a flag before each tournament. That's what I had to do, being a captain. But it was good. It was good. It was a good experience. Brilliant.
Did you fight when the headgear was still on, or was it?
We fought with the headgear. When I was amateur, I fought with the headgear. Even when I'm back senior, I've still had the headgear on. So it's only when I went professional we started taking the headgear off and the vest off. So it's all changed now, kind of thing. But I'm surprised it keeps going like that because the amount of amateur see we clash of heads. You know what I mean? So I thought, a bad cut can ruin somebody's career before it starts.
Yep.
So, but I'm surprised they've kept that going.
Yeah, they've got rid of that altogether now,
Aye, that's right. But I'm surprised at that. I thought it would have maybe came back with the people getting cut. That's what you heard when they first started. People getting cut eyes and cut under their eyes. So people needing plastic surgery and stuff like that.
So if you were travelling and you were playing football, travelling and boxing, mate, how did you manage to fit the football in at the same time?
I just had to. I never ever really played at a high level or anything like that when I was boxing. I still always done it, so I was training every day of the week. But it was always with just boys clubs and stuff like that. But as I say, it wasn't until I was playing my school team and a few of my mates already played with Dundee United, the youth or the unders, 17s and unders or whatever. So it wasn't until that. So it didn't really come into effect where I had to actually pick and choose until that time came. So I was kind of lucky that way. But it kept me training. I think the football helped my boxing, the boxing helped my football training wise. So I was always really fit. That was probably the biggest thing about it was my fitness. It was always pretty fit. So I always try and keep that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
how did you manage to get picked up?
We were playing their school team. There was a couple of people in their school team. John Travers and Martin McAleese. They played with Dundee United. So they were. Graham Livingston came to watch them playing with the school, and I think they seen me, and then I never did a team at that time. But I was just back for a tournament with the Scotland squad. So then it was so I went up to the under-17s. I wasn't at the under-17s that long, and then we went to France. And we went to the Ireland unders, and then we went to France. And then I was only there for a small, maybe only a season and a bit. And then I got a full-time contract, which I thought it was a wee bit unfair with the people that's been there for their boys and that. But it's just the way it worked out. It was a chance where I couldn't no take. You know what I mean? I wanted to be fair. It was selfish, I wanted to tell people you were to get a professional contract in football rather than an amateur boxer. But It's probably, it's just the way it is. You were at that age, so that's the way it picked up. I can't remember we were playing. I remember we were playing Energy. Graham Livingston came to see us. I can't remember how the game went, but they asked us up to training. They were training at Bathgate at the time, which isn't too far away from me, so that was ideal. So having went too good to not back.
Quality, mate. It was the same for me. I remember when I went down on trials to Wimbledon,
right?
And there was kids there say they were, I was younger than 9 in England. It was like 5 and 6 even back then. And I've just went down for a wee week's trial, and then I got offered to come back to the end of the season. And then obviously I got my first full-time deal. But there was a lot of wee niggly bits of animosity, and that shit was going down coming because I was just this dude I just appeared, and they'd been there for years and battling for a contract.
I know it was kind of like that with me, but I kind of felt as if people were like frowning upon you. But I seen that picture of you, by the way, when you signed the Wimbledon on Facebook the other day. That's just as good as mine. That's nearly as bad as mine. Nearly as bad.
We'll need to share yours in the comments.
Oh, please don't. That's a shocker.
What was it like then going to United and moving away from home and that, mate? Because
when we got the full time, I was up there for a week. They get sent up for a week as a trial, and there was a big massive house used to. I think it was an old nursing home or something like that. It was in Perth Road. There was like 15 boys and that. I stayed in there, but we went up there as young boys. We stayed there for a week's trial, and so I was good at that time because it was kind of new, isn't it? And obviously when you went full time and moved up there. And everything just kind of changed. And that. And when you're away from home, I kind of liked my home. I was kind of homesick, but you had a job to do and you had to just go on with it. So it didn't really affect us that much going to training and that, because you just get, after a wee bit of time, you just get tore into it. It's at night time and that, and you've not got any mates, and you've got with guys, and it's quite competitive in a house like that, because everybody's fighting for a place in a team, and people all don't see eye to eye and things like that. And it's kind of hard sometimes, and you feel as if sometimes you shouldn't be there or something like that, you know what I mean? As I say, you're not getting any mates and stuff like that, so it's quite hard going that way.
Again, mate, I was the same. Like, I was really lucky when I went down south, because I actually moved in with a physio's mum and dad.
Right.
They were like a new mum and dad to me. It was like they really looked after us. But mate, see, getting finished at 2 o'clock, 2:30. And then, mate, I was just going to Boozer. Right. I was going. We were going to Snooker Hall. We were just going. I looked a lot older as well when I was 16, 17. Right. So it's like it was recipe for disaster for me. But I was homesick as like mad, mate. Sitting in the room on my own. I was doing my tits in. But
it's hard being away from home. I don't know if you'd get away with any of that stuff up in Dundee. You know, Stevie Campbell seemed to know every single person in Dundee, so I don't think we'd get away with any of that.
I know, definitely, yeah. Stevie was on obviously a couple of weeks ago, mate. We spoke previously as well. Some boy, yeah.
Aye, he was a great coach, Stevie. Funny as well. An absolute wonder left foot. Probably the best left foot I've ever seen somebody. Used to show us, like, if we're doing drills or anything like that, used to show us, and every single time it was either top corner or stands. So every single time. So what a left foot he had. But he was good coach and that as well. Very good coach.
You'll be loving that. You'll be loving the comments, mate.
He was a good coach. He wanted to win. Probably a lot more than we did sometimes, but it was good after part in that as well. He used to take us aside and that, and if he knew if someone was bothering us, he used to always talk to us and that. So he was a very good coach.
Quality. So after that week's trial and that, mate, did you move into proper digs when you got the contract?
We went into that same house. So we went into that same house. So it was good. There was a family there looking after us and cooked for us, and just kind of stuffed it about. And there was maybe, I can't remember how many rooms there was, maybe 8 or 9 rooms in the place. So there was 2 at a room all the time. My first year there, I was in a room with Goody, and he's fucking nuts. So he's mental, but. So it was good. It was all right like that, but it was hard as well, just being away. But a lot of people seem to sit in the room there sometimes, but you just want to wait till the next day for your training to go. I always couldn't wait for training. That's the one thing. So
yep. Stevie Lee, another guy, one of my good mates, Stevie. He was telling us to ask you about was it Hilson winning the jackpot on the ferry going to France?
Yeah, I can remember him. I can remember him. He was looking after us, but I can't mind this jackpot. I mean, I've been hot in the face plenty of times since, so my memory's not that good. But I can remember them looking after us. France, we were at it was a tournament. That was the first kind of tournament we went earlier, and we were playing teams like Brophs and that. So I was like, I'm just off. I've never ever took football serious, so I'm like, I'm not playing against these guys. The guys were like they're like men, you know what I mean? But we actually done all right. I think we played Espanyol as well, and half of the players were in that Spain under 21 team or something, or the under 18 team that played Scotland the next year or something. It was good. It was a good experience, as I say. I went over there and just even put on the Dundee United strip it was just mental to think about that, and it was you didn't ever think something like that would happen, you know what I mean? Especially playing against teams like that, but it was good, and the boys are looking after us, so I think we got away with murder over there.
Brilliant. So who was your age group? Who in your team?
We had Johnny Russell. Scotty Allen was younger than me, but he was in the same age group. Who else played in our team? Johnny Russell was the one that always stuck out for me. Johnny Russell was, I think he was about the best player I played with. Him or Scotty Allen, they were special. They were special players. They were the kind of players where if they weren't playing, you weren't confident winning. That's what I thought anyway. But I would John Travers on our team. He was the one. He was my mate that brought us up to the team. Ross Smith was there. He was there. He's a bit younger as well. I don't know. He played. Who's he play for now? He scored a goal against Rangers not long ago, didn't he?
Good, yeah.
I think it did. But we did good players. As I said, I kind of always get played. Even Stevie kind of persevered with me, and I'll be the first to admit I was never a greatest player, to be honest. But I was always kind of a worker. I would class myself as a worker. I was always really fit. I was good in the air. And I was relatively strong. You know what I mean, for the age group. But I was never ever the greatest player at all. But people kind of persevered me. I felt as if I was kind of player that every team kind of needed to do all the dirty work. But I could run all day, and I was always fit, even at the pre-season stuff. Like I get put into the first teams like pre-season thing, so I've done a bit more. So but it's good to recognise that way. But sometimes I just couldn't pass a ball for your defence. So that's the other thing.
Here, Johnny Russell was special, man. I'm a United fan, as I said, and watching him come through was unreal.
It's brilliant. Ryan Dow as well. He's a striker. He was a good player as well. He's for Dundee, isn't he?
Ryan Dow.
The McCord brothers, they were good players. Ryan and Ross, weren't it?
Yeah, very good, mate.
Very good players.
Couple of gingers.
That's right. Like I couldn't believe that. I still can't believe their nicknames to this day. Pingo and Pongo. That's a weird one. That's not really got my head around that.
Going back to Stevie Lee actually signed me towards the end of my career for Lock United.
Right.
I think he was feeling sorry for his being mate.
Lockheed was a Lockheed. They were
Lockheed,
side, weren't they? Went to a good side.
Decent, mate. Stevie's a really good coach, mate. Really good coach.
Was he the coach for you at the time, man?
He was a manager. He was actually the manager, but he still coached as well, But he's just got, even for when we were at scale, mate, he was a total startle, every single thing about the players, and he was just so in tune. Good lad.
He's proper on the ball with everything, with the training that. He's really on the ball with things, wasn't he?
100%, mate. 100%. So, for your digs, mate.
The digs?
Your wee squad that was in your digs.
There was some team up there.
Any crazy wee nights?
I think it was the trial week up there. And obviously we went up there for the week trial, as I was saying earlier on. I think they used to do submission matches in the house to see who was the biggest man. So I was up there. I was boxing at the time, and I thought it was this thing. I get a challenge. I think it was good at challenge me. He nearly choked me out unconscious. I think I was unconscious for a wee while. He's probably the strongest man I've ever seen in my life. But he's absolutely solid. He's solid. But I think that wasn't a good start to the place. There's some things happened. There were always some mission matches. Every wall you went through the digs, there were holes in the place. So holes in the wall. So I don't know whether it was temper tantrums or whatever. There always used to be. There's a pool table and that as well. So if you weren't on the pool table, or the boys were missing most of the time, they were all hidden. Sometimes you couldn't get a game at pool or nothing. But nothing too mental. I think we were kind of half sensible.
Did you not think about going to the boxing through here?
We're doing boxing through there.
while you were full time? Did you think I'll go to a boxing club in Dundee or that?
No, but I don't even think we would have been allowed to. You know what I mean? Because we were doing that. But I can remember hitting the bag up at Next Generation Gym. We'd always get memberships in there, and it was Peter Houston at the time asked me. So I go and hit the bag, and I was like, no, I'm not really wanting it. I was a bit shy, and he's like, go and fucking hit the bag. I'm telling you to do it. So I was like, all right. So, and I think Peter Houston told me one time you should get back in it while you're doing it, but you don't really get any time if you're up there full time. But you missed it. I did miss it, to be fair. Sometimes it felt I felt I was in the wrong job. You know what I mean? Sometimes I felt as if I regretted it, like a fish out of water. But other times you did enjoy it, and you got on with it. But other times when things weren't going as well, you're like, I shouldn't even be here. I must admit that.
Yeah. How many years did you end up spending then, bro?
I must have been there for 2 or 3. I can't really mind exactly. It was 2 or 3 years, but I had a couple of bad injuries as well. A bad injury after being up at Dundee United as well. I think I asked to get released. I think I was know it was going to get released. I think I left before my end one because I was just missing things that much, and I went straight back into boxing. I think I actually got straight back into a fight within the next few weeks yet. So I got my license back and then straight into a fight. I was in a away fight, but it was still in Scotland. And I won that, and I had another one, then I went pro. So it wasn't that long after that at all.
Yep. So did you just go back to your old club?
Oh, I went back to my old club. I went back and I played. I told a lie there. I went back and I played football, and then I had another injury, and then after that, I had a bit of rehab. So it was a bit longer than I thought. And then we had a fight. We had a fight before the injury, and then we had an injury playing football. I had a broken leg, and another fight, and then I had to go through the rehab. Through the rehab, had the fight, and then I went pro. Did go back to my old club. I went back to the old one. That's the only club I ever thought to be amateur.
Okay.
It was the 4 L's, but that's not even going anymore.
So here, mate, loads of experience in the bag just before you even hit 20. You know what I mean? Boxing, travelling, playing for United, and then 20, you're going pro.
I was just thankful to be half decent at one thing. I mean, 2 things to even get a chance in them. Yep. So. And it's gave you experiences up football. I'll never regret it that much because it was an experience and it was a good experience. Not meant to go through that, but and as I say, the boxing as well. You've seen sometimes even with the place you've fought as a pro in that as well. You fought in small shows, you fought in big shows as well, and then going to Australia and that to fight. So these are experiences where you would never ever get a chance at. So you need to be grateful for that for a wee bit.
Yep. See, when you got back into the boxing, what were you thinking? Were you thinking of? Was your goals to go all the way, or were you thinking I'm just going to get back in, see how this goes? What was it?
I was lost, to be honest. After United, I was lost. I didn't have a clue. I'd never even said to myself, I'm going to go pro. I just didn't know where to turn, to be honest. So I went back, and then I get another bad injury. That leg break when I was playing, I just played with a football team, my mates. So I had a bad leg break, and then a bad leg break, and then just didn't really know where to go. And then we had a couple of fights, and then somebody said to me, "Why don't you just go pro? You'll make some money." So even if when I first went pro, you can see if I went to 10-0 and fighting maybe some journeyman at the start, and just to say again you were a pro boxer, I'd been happy with that. I'd been delighted with that, and then I just never ever really seen it growing arms and legs like that. So then I really got in there, and then I stuck doing it. I was always trained hard, always dedicated. I was always in the gym, you know what I mean? So I think that's what helped us. And then whoever trained me, we went through. I've always trained with Ricky Burns and stuff like that. And I think he taught me a lot. Oh, right. And Billy Nelson was always my coach, so he's a renowned coach as well. So I think it was in the right place. I think I just kind of landed lucky in the right place at the right time. But as well, I think you need a bit of luck like
that. What were these guys like to be like around on a daily basis, mate?
Ricky became good pals, and then he kind of taught me how to train. Even though I was always kind of fit and I knew how to train, but he taught me how to train for boxing. Like say when he was doing 12-round fights, I was only doing maybe 4 or 6 round fights, but I was doing the same training camp as him. So he taught me how to train, and he taught me how to. And he was the work ethic he had was I've never seen anything like it. Even people say it now, like he's a 3-bit world champion. He doesn't need to do it anymore, and he's still out and he's still hitting the roads, and he was just a machine. You know what I mean? So it was good.
Still fighting, isn't he? He's still fighting.
Still fighting now. Still fighting. I still see on his Facebook and his Instagram and that, but he's still training as hard. He's out running and he's doing all this. So and I think it's just in his blood. But the things he used to do, I mean, we used to spar and that together. You could just spar for 14, 15 rounds, no hassle. And he just wanted to do it. People shouldn't really want to do that, you know what I mean? But it was good. He taught me a lot. He taught me how to train. He taught me, even though I was doing maybe too much training at the time for the fight I was doing, it gave you the ideas and the knowledge you had to know when you got to longer fights and longer training camps. You had the knowledge already there to know what you had to do.
Brilliant. Because here he's really light, Ricky Burns, isn't he? Did he bring himself down a lot before he was fighting?
He did. I seen him with weight sometimes. Just need to let the dog out. I seen him cutting a lot of weight. So that's the hardest bit about boxing. When nobody really sees like cutting the weight. He did maybe boil down. He was even running on the day he's weighing. You know what I mean? With a sweatsuit on, he would maybe take off half a stone maybe the day before and things like that. It's a bit harsh what boxers need to do at low weight. I wasn't too bad in that way. I kind of tried to keep myself half in decent shape all the time. But I mean, if you blow down like you seem like Ricky Hatton, I think he's lost like nearly 300 stone in his full career. I mean, that's just crazy. But I did see Ricky, and he always used to tell me about things. But his body was different from mine. So when I started to cut weight in the bigger fights and that, I found it a lot different. I tried to do things the same way he did, which is understandable because he was a world champion at the time. And what he said, you'd have wanted to do that. But you start to understand your own body. But Ricky used to cut a lot of weight. I think he's a lot better now. He went up the weights. But I think he was lightweight. I think he was lightweight at the time, or super feather maybe. He was cutting a lot of weight, and the day before the weigh-in, he was like he's hard done. You know what I mean? It looks as if he was right done in. So that's the bit you don't see about it. People just see about the turning the ring and fighting, but it's a lot more than that. Yep.
Did you need to do any like dehydration and stuff like that before you're going in?
I did. I mean, every fighter always needs to do it for professional because it's like cutting weights to take weight off temporarily so you can put it back on. So I would maybe the last couple of fights I would maybe fight at 12 stone, but I would get into the ring the next day over 13 stone. So that's like cutting weight so you can temporarily take it off so you can put it back on. Losing weight is to lose weight and keep it off. So that's the kind of thing. But every fighter needs to say it. But we see some of the MMA boys like that Dan Till video and stuff like that. That's just mental. I think they take off a stone a day.
Unbelievable.
It's not good for you. So some might not be good for you, but
do you know what, mate? I'm loving the one championship just now. Yeah, you know the one. Basically the equivalent to the UFC, because there's no weight cut, mate. You get hydration tests and stuff like that on the day of the fight, and you've got to be within a proper hydration limit. I quite like that. Then you've just got to turn up and be in the shape that you're in.
I think it's a bit safer, to be fair. Very, very safe. I think people can die with that. Obviously, with dehydration, it takes away the water from about your brain, so you're getting hit in the head. I think that's how people in the ring can lose their life. Not I mean, I think that's how they can die. So, and that's a bit more serious note when stuff like that happens. So I think you need to look after yourself when it comes to hydration, especially when it's cutting for weight. So if you're taking too much off, it's going to hinder you in the fight. Of course it is, and obviously it can be dangerous. Then you're not going to. That's the difference between boxing and football. I always thought that. Like if you had a bad day in the park, like you can get subbed, or there's 10 boys running about to help you. If you're in the ring and you have a bad day, you're absolutely fucked. So doing you in.
Definitely. I think the thing with boxing as well, mate, it's so long to your next fight to make amends. Can football, it's like you're back the next week.
Well, if you have a shock in the park, like it's kind of out your system the next time you're training, or you get a game the next week. But if you have a bad day in the ring, then it takes a lot to get back into it mentally and that as well, to get yourself psychologically ready to go again, to get yourself in the frame of mind to fight somebody. Yep.
So when did it start to pick up a wee bit of momentum for you, Brophs? And when did you here I'm doing no bad, here I'm quite decent?
It's just when you start getting wins and that, and we start getting wins, and with a couple of good wins, and then I was never ever one for a knockout artist. So and you start getting a couple of knockouts, and you start getting challenges. You know what I mean? Then I get signed for MTK. So I've sparred everybody as a sparring partner in Britain. It's Cam Smith, Audie Smith, Liam Williams, like Cleverly. I've sparred everybody, Martin Murray's and that. So when you start getting
Who was the best?
Cam Smith's a beast. Cam Smith's an absolute beast. He's a machine, but he was good. He was always a nice guy in that as well. I used to spar with Paul. I done Paul's 2 Abraham fights. He fought for the full title, so I done his full camps for him. So I was staying more or less staying down Bolton. So that was good. Gets me away from home, but you're solely concentrating on training. So that was quite good as well. But Callum was a beast. But it was sparred every day, and you started holding your own against these guys, and then you started getting bigger fights, and you started getting offered fights. And that's, you need to get a good run at it. And plus, when you get maybe a good half decent wage for a fight, and you're like, this is better, because at the start you're making absolute peanuts.
Yep.
Peanuts. So, but that's it.
How much when you're first getting into boxing? How much are people getting?
You can get some people don't get paid at all. Let's see, I was already. I always sold a lot of tickets. It's quite popular with ticket sales and that. So, but people didn't sell enough tickets, they wouldn't get paid at all. So I've seen people when they went at a fight and they'll get paid.
Yep.
So they need to sell enough tickets to cover their opponent's purse, cover their opponent's wages. If they just cover theirs and they don't get any wages, it's crazy. I've always said that. I love the sport of boxing, but I hate the business. I've always hated it.
Yep.
Hated it. Promoters, the last person to get paid to know anything about wages is the boxer, and who would the sport be without the boxer?
Yeah. I'm good mates with Paul Keane. He's lucky. He's got a massive fan base here. In Dundee, guys follow him every fight that he goes on. Obviously, the last fight was behind closed doors, but that's always been a massive benefit for him for getting his wages for the fights. Definitely.
When you get wages, like I say, sometimes you get paid with ticket deals and stuff like that. Sometimes if you go into these matchroom shows the Frank Lawrence shows, like Paul Keane would have got a good wage the last time. They'd probably been paid right in his bank, but some people are scrimping and scraping and they need to go and find people to get their ticket money off them. And if they don't get wages. It's mental. It's crazy. You're running about daft, and the only thing you should be thinking about is fighting and who you're going to be fighting.
Yep. Who was promoting you then, bro?
I was originally managed by Alec Morrison, and then I was over in MTK Marbella at the time when I was sparring Paul Smith for his Abraham fight, and the MTK boys, they seen me and then they signed me. I think they bought my contract out with Morrison and they signed me. I was one of the first signed by MTK. It was MGM Marbella at the time, so they done well for us. I mean, they looked after you. They generally did look after you. A lot of people don't want to look after you; just look for their ticket sales and what they're going to get off you. But they looked after us, and they always offered that anytime you want to go to Marbella and train, and you were always allowed to. But I always kind of tried to keep it here because there's no distractions when you're here. You know what I mean? You're training in your own gym. If you're in Marbella, you know what I mean, they've got a chance to go out for a run or go down the beach. You've always got challenges in your head to see what you're going to do. You know what I mean? So it's back here. You know what you're going to do. You know how to train. So I always kind of stayed here.
So MTK, obviously they're promotional, but management as well. So do they? Is it them who work within your matchroom?
They'll get offered any fights and they can go to them for fights and that. So that's the way they'll work. So if somebody wanted to fight you, or even the ones for overseas want to fight you, they'll go to them first, and then they'll talk to me. They'll talk about money, and then that'll be it.
Cool. What was your support structure like outside of MTK? Your family and your coaches here and that?
My coach is not here. That was Billy Nelson. So I had a good coach in here. Billy looked after me for day one. So I've got a lot to thank Billy for. You know what I mean? My mum, she never ever. I think she seen me fight once, and then that was it. She didn't watching it. I think she watched the Australia fight in the telly. She didn't like seeing me fighting, but my dad, he was at most fights. My mates, my family, and most of them went to all the fights. I've got a big fan base. To be fair. I always used to say that. I don't know why, because I've only got 5 or 6 mates, so I don't know where they all came from. I always said that in interviews, but it's kind of true. I've only got a wee handful of pals, so I don't know where they all came from. But,
that's brilliant, mate.
It was good. It was good experience. It was good, especially going to shows and the places full of your supporters and they're shouting your name. So you can't beat that. So to go to Australia, mate. Yep.
And Zach Dunn's back here to bring the title to him. What was it like? How did it even come about? First of all,
Well, obviously, a bit before that, I got offered to fight Groves. So, like, I would advise against it. I mean, Groves is a fucking monster, but I've always said I've never ever said no to fight anybody, even though I've
Was the Groves fight before the?
I think it was, aye. I think it was. I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was, aye. But we got off. Any fight we got offered, always took it. Even though they tried to talk me out. Even the Australia fight, my management were trying to say, "Listen, Australia's a hard place to go to. You can't really get a result there. You need to knock him out for a draw." And the guy was number 4 in the world. And he would like 20 or 21 fights, 18 knockouts or something. So and 21 wins out of 21. So he's like, "Don't take this. We can get you another fight." And I was like, "No, just use it." And I was like, "I didn't even know about the money or anything like that. They didn't tell me." And I was like, "No, I'll go. This is definitely I'll go." And like I didn't really look into it too much. And even Billy, or my trainer, he was saying he was number 4, number 5 in the world. And I highly rate it. He's like, "You're not going to." He tried to talk to me that as well, but I was like, "No, we'll go." I started watching, and they actually fought a guy for England before that fight to win the Commonwealth, and he was a former IBO world champion. So I think he vacated the IBO world champion so they can get fight for the Commonwealth, because I think Australia and Canada and that they're trying to get back into the Commonwealth kind of thing.
Right. Okay.
So I think that's how it happened. So he fought a guy Liam Cameron, who I sparred with for the Dunn fight, which went only one way. You know what I mean? It was but Dunn it. He gave him a right beating as well. So he did for 12 rounds, but he didn't knock him out. And he won the Commonwealth, and then we got offered it. Obviously, they seen me fight against Groves. That's how I know it was definitely after the Groves fight. Me, and that went picking. So I said yes straight away. I didn't even know the money. I think my manager told me a few weeks after it what the kind of money was going to be like, and that was it. I was just fine. So we went over there. I think we went over there for 10 days before it, and then that was it. Melbourne was a beautiful place for all I seen it. I never really left the hotel in my apartment unless I was training. So there was a few wee bits of tricks and bobs and that as well. The guy that picks up at the airport was Zach Dunn's dad. So we had a look at us, and his management, we get sent to a gym, which was obviously his gym. So cameras were there and we were training. So, and then they were meant to pick us up, take us to other gyms and stuff like that, and then they started not picking us up. So it was obviously all mind games and stuff like that. So we actually went and found our own gym, which is a wee community gym. Had a ring, a couple of bags, had everything we needed, a treadmill. And we actually trained there for the 10 days for that fight. Nobody knew us, and we paid in, and so nobody could see us and that. So it was brilliant. It was a good experience, but Zach done it. To be honest, he was a bit of a prick. To be honest, when he was over there, him and his team and that they weren't very nice to us, and they weren't picking us up. And when they shake your hand, when they talk to you, and his team was coming up and saying, "Listen, he's not going to shake your hand." And I was like, as if I want to shake his hand this before the fight. And I'm just a bit of mob dick, so they were. But it was even sweeter on the night. I mean, there was a bit of arrogance about them. I think they just thought they were over here to just pick a bit.
You would have just got to turn up, he was going to dismantle you.
I think so. But it was even sweeter. I said to Billy straight away, I was like, "Billy, I can win this fight." And that's how we went over straight away. I mean, even we were advised against it, but that's what made it all better. And it couldn't have been any better, to be honest. Couldn't have been any better to make him quit in his own home thing.
They threw in the towel, didn't they?
They threw in the towel, I think. I think his ribs were broken. I think his body shots could have torn him. He was making noises I've never heard a man make before. He was making squealing noises like a pig. But, it was good. It was a good experience, a great experience. It was definitely the best win I've had. The best experience. So we brought it home, and it was just great to get back into my wee village, and there was signs up in the street and stuff like that. It was brilliant.
Brilliant. That's quality, mate. What were the fans like to you over there?
Well, we took there was 12 of us went over there. So my three or four of my best mates, they come over, and I think they come over for 3 days. We went to Australia for 3 days. I don't think they were sober for the 3 days. So even one of my best mate, he was at the weigh-in, and he was absolutely steaming. And when we all get weighed in, the Australian officials were there, and we just had done the weigh-in, and then we were doing the face-off or whatever else, and then he jumped on the scale shouting, "I'm a heavyweight," in front of the fellow officials. And I was like, "Fucking get off the scale." But it was funny, but they went over there. They had a great time. three days over there, and I'll be over to Australia. It's 24 hours to get there, and then they'll there for the fight. And it was good experience. But as I say, I had never seen him. My wife, or my girlfriend at the time, but my wife now. So they went over, showed my best mates, some people from my gym. Unbelievable to even get MD to go over there, away over to Australia, to Melbourne to see you fight. You know what I mean? It was unbelievable, but it was good. It was one of the best experiences of my life, I must say.
That's quality, mate. Love it. Well, I've jumped ahead a wee bit here because we jumped right over Groves and went to the Commonwealth. So we'll jump back a wee bit, mate. How did that fight even come about?
As a game, we got offered it, and straight away he died and trying to advise against it again. But Groves is a big name, you know what I mean? It was, you had that the carrot dangling in front of you. If you do a number here, the same as I've done with the Australia one. If you do this, and it could make something of you. So, but we fought in those two, and it was pay-per-view, and it was good money in that as well. You know what I mean? I know they even done it for the money. It was just for the exposure. Any exposure was good exposure, but and I mean, there was good build up in that, and it was good. It wasn't a dicker that days. But in the ring, but like I can't believe the weight that man must cut. When I went in the ring and he jumped in the ring, I thought he was one of the security guards. I was like, he's a fucking monster. I was like, I couldn't believe the size of him. He must have been 14 stone in that ring. He must have weighed in at 12. So, but when I could feel his power straight away. He caught his one, and I think it was at 4th or 5th round in the solar plexus in the middle of the chest. Just can't survive for them. He just got his square on. But that was it. But it was gutting. It was my first loss. I fucking cried all the way home. But I think if you won the that, then you would have just settled for the money. You know what I mean? It had to hurt. But it did hurt it bad. But after that, even after I won the Commonwealth, they asked me down to spar with him. So I was down there for a couple of days sparring down in London. So I travelled away down at London. I think we'd done like 8. And I wish to God I fought him the way I sparred them. You know, I mean, we actually were talking about that after it. So it's just one of the funny things. You know what I mean? Funny things. But that's boxing. That's the name of the game, I suppose. Things happen on the night, and you wish you could have.
How good was he, or how good is he?
He hit very, very hard, even in sparring. Even with headgear and that one, he hit like a fucking train. To be honest, excuse my French, but he hit very, very hard. But he's very good, and his jab is like a straight right hand. So he's a very, very good jab. But as I say, he was very good. It's just the difference in class at that time, you know what I mean? But as I say, I still say that in boxing, see, the only way you learn is being hit. You know what I mean? Like, it's the only way you learn. Like, if you have a bad day, you learn from that. It was just a shame that happened on telly and on Sky Sports. That happened to me, and then you go and spar them, and you have a better spar where nobody sees. You know what I mean? It's just, but that's just the way it is. I always say that it's a hard sport to learn, because the only way you learn is being hit in the face. So that's the unfortunate thing.
What was it like to bounce back there? Obviously, you went on and won the Commonwealth, but like that wee period, just after the fight.
It was hard to pick yourself up, obviously, but it had to be a roller coaster bit there. After that, win the Commonwealth, and then we come back and we got offered the fielding fight. I'm actually mates with Rocky, and I sparred with Rocky most of the time for going over to Australia. So, but that was the biggest sickener that I've ever had, because I mean, it's just we've sparred hundreds of rounds, and Rocky's a good fighter, and he's a class ourselves as mates. We're still talking that, and but it just happened. They just caught us cold, caught us in the tab of the head in the first round. I mean, getting away down at Liverpool and losing your title, it was just a fucking sickener. Couldn't believe it. I mean, it just got cold. I couldn't recover from it, and he bounced on that. Actually, had me a good right hand against the ropes. I get excited. That's where Billy lost the plot on me, because it was a shot he caught us. We trained against the Norgate caught me. I get excited, and he countered with a left hook, hit me on the top of the head because he's so tall, and just micro-libbed went, and just my feet were gone, my legs were gone. It was gutting, man. I would have done anything not to feel like that game, but just to lose your title in the way I did. I mean, it's the same again. You done things better before with Rocky, and then getting the fight, it's like that. But listen, Rocky went on to be a world champion, so did Groves. So that's if there's any silver line that is, but it doesn't make it any sweeter, to be honest. But like, Fielding's a good fighter, and he went over to Germany and done an absolute job in that guy on his home ground as well. So good on him. You know what I mean? That, nothing but praise for them. I was not getting any bitterness, not one bit of bitterness in me at the end. They've boxed or sparred at the end. So I wish them all the best. It's hard enough to get into the ring. There might have enemies in the place.
Oh, definitely, mate. And here, you've got to think as well, like, the only people to beat Groves and Rocky Fielding are, like, elite, the best of the best.
Oh, it's to say it doesn't make
You know,
any better, but it doesn't make any
sorry.
better. But it does. It's a silver lining, but it doesn't make it any better. But it's just the way it happened with the two of them. It was a bit gutting. Even if I don't mind getting beat, but if it's a competitive way of getting beaten, it'd be a lot better. No, a first round fucking thing like that. That just sickened me altogether. But that's what it is. You just need to pick yourself and go, mate. I had a few fights after that, but it was still even before. Before the Fielding fight, I was getting bothered in my eye, so I had double vision in my eye. So it was even before that, but it wasn't any excuse for that fight because I could see perfect in the fight. It was more or less the build-up of fights and that. So even I sparred with Cleverly. Like he was an ex-world champion, a former world champion. I sparred with him for a couple of weeks. I stayed in Wales, and I had a bad day, but I could see perfect in the ring. It was when I went home and my head was spinning and that, and it was always something to do with my eye. Obviously, all these years I get hit the head. I'd more or less my eyes were pointing in different directions, and because of the trauma in my head, it's like people sometimes get in car crashes and that. So this was hard to hear. So
was this caused through boxing, or was it?
It's caused through boxing. It's caused from head trauma. Some people get it in the car crashes and that, but things like that. It's caused through head trauma. But I just thought it was kind of dizziness or something. So this is the scary bit. That I had double vision. I've still actually got that double vision, but I've only got it from looking down at my feet, like from 3 o'clock in my sight to 6 o'clock. So I've only got it from there. I've still got it, but before I had it all the time. So they've done an operation. I think they had to take kind of get behind my eye, take my eye out, operating muscles behind my eye. So I didn't even know this until like we had the last conversation before retiring. Like I thought they fixed the weakened muscle. They actually weakened another muscle, so it makes me look a bit straighter. So I've got 2 damaged muscles behind my eye now instead of 1. That's the only way they can do that, to see a bit straighter. It's a bit surreal, you know what I mean? When somebody tells you that, and it hits home a wee bit when things like that can affect your day-to-day life. You know what I mean? I've always said it, when you're fit and healthy, no thing in the world would make you no fight. But when things like that, when people tell you that, and doctors like they advise you against that because it maybe happen again. And now I'm married and I've got a kid in the way. You know what I mean? It hits a wee bit.
Oh, have you?
I've got a kid
on the way. On the way. Congratulations, mate.
A wee girl. I've got a wee girl.
Oh, so, brilliant, mate.
So so I've kind of changes in that. I mean, I'm 30 now as well. So, and I was still saying to myself, I'm never saying never. I'm going to fight again, stuff like that. But it's just being selfish. But being a fighter is selfish. You know what I mean? You think about nobody but yourself. I feel really sorry for my wife Nikki sometimes when I was in training camps, because there was an absolute fucking nightmare. I mean, it wasn't ideal to be around. You know what I mean? You think about nothing but yourself, but you need to. You know what I mean?
You're dieting and you're grumpy and you're...
It's just I'm a living nightmare. So, but it's just the way it is. It's hard being a fighter, but it's harder for them, I think, living with me. You know what I mean? It's harder with Nicky, like living with me, but it's not until you go away from the sport and you actually see how much like a nightmare you are. You know what I mean? But and how much more relaxing that year. But with the eye thing, as soon as the doctor said to me it could maybe come back and they'll weaken another muscle and that, and they could do another operation, but it might not fix it. I just had to hit the nail on the head. Even though I was stubborn as I was, and I was saying I'm going to fight again, and I'm thinking about doing it, and then we just can't know. There's too much to lose rather than to gain at this stage of my life. You know what I mean?
Yep. I mean, it's like obviously a football player as well. You didn't hear it so much in boxing because it's an individual sport, but you hear it loads. Football players will retire and then they can, and it's all I've ever known. Can they hit a wee rough patch? How did you deal with it?
I didn't. It was hard to deal with. I mean, and even when it's the way your mind works. I mean, even when I was playing with Dundee United, Stevie will probably tell you I had an accident in the house and I had a big shard of mirror in my leg, and then and after that I get blood clots in my leg, so they were never going to cut my leg off. I was playing football at the time for a job, but obviously that was the worst case scenario they're telling me. But try to go over that, and then over all the physio and stuff like that, and then the feats like the Groves fight, is try to get yourself up off the first defeat to go and do that, and then take rock bottom again. It's murder. And then you get bad news like this, like you have to retire. It's an emotional roller coaster. You know what I mean? It's shit, to be honest. But listen, there are a lot worse things happening in life than somebody telling you can't fight again. So people have lost their life in that thing. So you need to be grateful for that. Sometimes you feel really hard done by, but then you need to take a wee step back and see you're not hard done by at all. You know what I mean? You're actually probably pretty lucky after. A lot of people have got a lot worse than you.
Yep. I know. It's probably in hindsight, it's good that you're able to do that now because it lightens the load, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But 27, 28, it is very young to get up your career, isn't it?
It is, aye. But now when I look back, I've got a lot of things. I'm into coaching now with my trainer with Big Martin McCauley. He's a big heavyweight, so in the pros. I've got my own gym, a great clientele in the gym. Like I've got a wife, I've got a way in the way, so I've got a lot to look back and say, it's worked out all right. You know what I mean? In fact, instead of feeling sorry for yourself and saying the world's against me, and I had to retire.
I love it, mate. I love it. No, I love that attitude, mate. I love it. Roll the sleeves up and let's go again. Eh?
That's it. You just need to go on it. There's a lot worse things that can happen to you, or sort of get said to you. So that's it.
Brophs, who was your big inspiration growing up?
As I say, growing up, I didn't. I always looked up to my dad. You know what I mean? My dad always kind of. He was the kind of guy when I was young. If he failed, he told to get up going with it. So I think he's kind of made me half of what I'm at. He was into boxing. He was a good fighter player and that. But when I got to boxing and stuff like that, I always looked up to Ricky Burns because I was the first person I'd seen who was so professional that way. You know what I mean? In football, I was Barry Robson's boot boy, but his work ethic as well. After training that, even though he was a grumpy, moody bastard, but his work ethic, like after training, even training after his training session on the park, taking free kicks and that, his work ethic had to be respected and appreciated. So I used to watch that, and if you could always do an extra wee bit to better yourself, then I think you would always do that.
Yeah, it's brilliant that you've mentioned them too as well, because it's like people want to do the graft and put the work in, do that wee bit extra.
It's a wee bit extra, get you a long way.
Man.
Barry Robson was well thought in Dundee United, as everybody knows, but he was always crabby, he was always thinking about it. It was pure business, you know what I mean? He knew what he wanted. You could see that in him, you know what I mean? And he always stayed behind, he always done his free kicks, always done his corners, whatever else he had to do. So that obviously got him where he was. You know what I mean? He was a good player, a good professional.
Did he look after you Christmas time and that?
He did, no, I got a wee nod after him now and again. So, but I think I got 150 quid at Christmas. That was a lot of money to me at that time. So
that's brilliant. Here he went on to some. He must have coined it right and got a sell it.
Aye, he done it.
Brilliant.
He was all right. He was a good player, but as well, I liked him as a player.
Brilliant player, man.
Hard to
I'm biased. I like that. I'm biased being an Arab. Who did you look to model yourself on, or who was your hero in boxing?
I always liked Tyson. Even though I'm nothing like him, and I think it would be very, very hard for somebody nowadays to be like Tyson. But I liked him. I liked his, even though his attitude's a bit of a nut job, but I liked him. You couldn't not like him, could you?
Would you have liked to have fought him?
No, absolutely not. No chance. I think that'd be the first fight I said no to.
What do you think about this Tyson and Roy Jones?
I don't know what I think about it. Roy Jones was a genius in all his time, but I think it's just to make them feel a bit more human again, because obviously I know Roy Jones has a lot more fights than him, but Tyson's been in the game for a long time. I think to make them feel a bit wanted again. It's hard when you're out the limelight and nobody wants to talk to you. I mean, I've felt it. I mean, even doing something like this is good. I mean, you don't get this anymore. No papers phone you, nothing wants to have interviews, and it's hard to take that sometimes. And somebody, especially at their limelight, that they were world champs. They were the men in the world. So, and I think it would be a lot harder for them to take neglection. You know what I mean? So I maybe want to talk to them or that anyway. Maybe want to entertain them. So I think that would be worse after the game. So I think that's you just want to feel wanted again. You know what I mean? To feel in the limelight again.
It's mental because I watched Tyson on the Joe Rogan podcast last year, and he was saying to Joe Rogan that he doesn't train, he doesn't go running, he'll not hit the bag, he doesn't even really look at himself in the mirror because the ego just takes over, and he just wants to get right in about it. So very quickly, and within a year, he's obviously started hitting some pads and that, and he just went, ping, let's go.
It's in your blood, a man like that. It's in your blood. I mean, as soon as you start punching things, you want to keep punching things and punch through them. I think a man like Tyson with bad intention, he was punching, even if he punching you to score a point, he was punching you to fucking kill you.
Definitely. Who would you have loved to have fought? Alive or past, whatever, anytime.
Somebody easy. Nah, always liked Michael Kessler. I think he was on a machine, and I like Joe Kozagi, especially their two fights. Even though I hate southpaws and I hate fighting southpaws, I think I'd love to have fought Kozagi. I thought he was a genius, the man. Michael Kessler was one tough man as well. Even when you see Michael Kessler today, he looks like he's never been a fight in his life. I mean, he's not the big squinty nose I've got, and the one cauliflower deer and that's it. So, Kozagi as well. He's flawless, but he retired undefeated. So, the man like that, you have to respect, you have to look up to, no matter what.
Yep. They were your weight as well, weren't they?
They were, aye. That was a worrying thing.
Did they fight each other?
Aye, they fought each other. I think maybe fought each one or twice, but Kozagi won. Obviously, he was retired undefeated. So
Kozagi actually fought Roy Jones, didn't he?
Did I? Even Roy Jones fought Enzo McInerney not long ago, a few years ago before it was finished, and Enzo knocked him out. That's when I think he just moved up weights. I think he was at near heavyweight at one point, but I think the man just left fighting. I think he just couldn't retire. As I say, it's hard for a fighter to retire sometimes. Sometimes it's better getting forced into time before you're better retiring before the sport retires you.
Yep. There's no many that do it, mate. Andre Ward bowed out like bang, just like that.
Yeah, they're just putting their safety box. You know what I mean, the boys. It's people like that. They've just God-given talents. Other people try at it. You know what I mean, they give it a good go, but these people are put on the earth to do it. Floyd Mayweather, things like that. They're just putting the earth to box. Yep.
What do you think about Andre Ward? Just saying that's me done.
I think he'll come back and he'll do a bit.
You think so?
I think Mayweather will as well. I just think these boys are just hungry for. I mean, they quite rightly so. They're hungry for attention. They're hungry for winning. You know what I mean? So why would you not be? And they know they're good enough to do it. They'll get another fight. They'll get another 40 million for it. Why not? Fucking hell.
Mayweather went over to Japan and got like 10 million for this toy fight.
It's crazy, man. I would have held his spit bucket for like £100. You know what I mean?
Brilliant, man. Brilliant. Right. So what's happening now, Brophs? What's going on in life now?
Now, mate, it's my missus, she's due in November, so that's good. But I'm keeping busy in the gym just with my main things until we go back up. I'm doing the gym up, but I'm still working with the pros. The pros are allowed to train just now, so I'm training Martin McCoy. He's a heavyweight. He's fighting and he's signed the Matchroom, so he's fighting in Eddie Hearn's back garden on the 22nd of August. So hoping that all goes well, and we just get to business with that. Just keep my foot in the door with boxing with the coaching. So hopefully I can take some what I done in boxing into other people's careers. Yep. So hopefully we can do that.
Are you looking at build a wee stable like?
No, probably not myself. I'll probably help Billy be his assistant rather than build my own one. I think it's a lot of responsibility having your own stable. So I'm kind of happy having my own gym and just having a wee back seat and helping Billy out. You know what I mean? He's getting a bit older now, so I don't mind doing a bit of harder work for him. He knows he's got all the knowledge involved. I've maybe got a bit more experience.
Oh. I don't know if Brophs' battery just dead there, guys, but you might try and jump back on through the link, put his phone back on. But here, that was quality. Absolutely buzzing after that. Could you still hear me? It's not cut the sound off or anything. Guys, drop us a wee comment if you've got any questions that you wanted to fire to Brophy or fire to me. Fire them in the comments now. Hit that wee like button, and probably a good time to get another shout out for a wee share. Every share, every like, every tag is greatly appreciated. We are growing. Yeah, we're growing rapid, by the way. We're nearly at 3,000 followers already in such a short period of time. I've got a couple of good wee things coming up in the near future where we're going to do some live giveaways and stuff like that. Where a few businesses have offered some products and shit like that to sponsor the show. So buzzing about that. And gives us an opportunity to give back as well. So I'll give Brophs another minute or so, see if he shares up that battery. But yeah, any questions, go for it, guys. Let me see. Davey Beveridge in the house. How we doing, my man? Good to see you. Frankie. Here, brilliant. Great story, mate. It's not very often you hear somebody going through the ranks at a professional club, especially somebody a club as big as United, you know. And then going on to win a Commonwealth title. Outstanding. Let me check here. We've got quite a lot of comments. Craig Nelson's writing a book in the comments. I'll know I'll read it just now, but I'll read it when I come off. There we go. Ask Brophs if he remembers the day's training on the Red Ash at Royals. Well, hopefully if he comes back, we shall see. Ian Daly, how you doing, mate? Yeah, so guys, going for my juice, my moose or draft. But I hear another amazing podcast tonight. Buzzing for it. We're going to be coming thick and fast over the next couple of weeks. Loads of new guests. We've seen quite a few of them that I've promoted already, which I'm super excited for. We got Big Rab Douglas, we've got Lee Wilkie, we've got Simon Murray, and in the football sector, and then we've got some amazing guests coming on speaking about PTSD, mental health, suicide, stuff like that, just to create that awareness and so that they can share their powerful story. So I'm buzzing about that as well. Spot on, Marv. Who's that? Paul McLean. What's he on about? What are you on about? Sound Marine. Spot on, Ian. Superb.
Do you know?
Look at that. There he is.
Mate, I'll never believe this, man. I ran out of battery. Mate,
I thought that, mate.
What an idiot, man. What an idiot. Mate, I'm sorry. I had to get my missus' phone there. I apologise.
No bother, mate. I was just chatting shit for a wee bit anyway.
Mate,
he's back. He's back. He's back.
I'm back. I apologise. What a schoolboy error that was.
No problem, mate.
What was I heard you? I heard you were talking to people that was doing comments here. What's been said?
No. What's been said? No, I was saying to Craig Nelson. He's been writing a book in the comments.
Oh, fuck, Craig Nelson.
Just coming in, mate. Ian Daly's been on. Spot on. People are just saying, well done, mate, great story and stuff like that. But I will tie it up, bro. So we were at the last wee bit talking about you're building a stable, you're going to help.
I'm not going to build a stable, I'm helping Martin. I'm enjoying keeping my foot back the door, just keeping your toe in the door box. And as I said before, like, always said never say never, you know what I mean? But I think my missus would have something else to say with that. She's probably the hardest fight I've had, so I need to keep her happy. And I suppose when I've got my kid here, I've changed that way. But I'll still keep my foot in the door. I enjoy training people. See, I've got a good gym, I got a good bunch in there. It's great bunch in my gym, and I enjoy my job. You know what I mean? I feel lucky enough to fall back on some from having half a chance being an alright fitter player, an alright boxer. So I think I feel lucky to land on my feet a wee bit with that. So I got a gym and got a good business with it. And so it could be a lot worse.
Nah, that's brilliant, mate. That's brilliant. And when the gyms get open again, you get the green light, you're going to be back at the PT and stuff like that as well.
I will be, mate. I will be. I'll definitely be. People are at the text all the time and asking when am I rolling back up. So now I'm keeping myself busy with the pros because they're allowed to be training now. So that's getting me a bit sane. So, but I'm still been in the gym doing it myself. I'm trying to do it up a wee bit now, make it better, make it a bit safer with the sanitizer and that with this carry on that's going on. So. So I'm looking forward to getting back home. I think it shouldn't be too much longer, maybe a couple of weeks, I think, hopefully. So I'll need to get you doing it at the gym one day.
Mate, I'll be right up for it. Definitely.
Definitely, mate. Next time you're through Glasgow, we'll get in here and we'll do a session.
Well, mate, we've just opened. Our salon opens again tomorrow in Union Street in Glasgow. So
good.
I'm through there once a week. Might pop down and get a wee session and.
I can come in for a pint.
That's where it gets dangerous, mate.
It's very dangerous. But, I enjoyed that, mate. That was good.
No, mate, you're much appreciated. Thanks so much for coming on.
No
Been
problem,
a blast.
mate, no problem.
Been a blast. Superb. Guys, once again, thanks a lot for tuning in. Amazing comments coming in. Every like, tag and share, greatly appreciated. Spot on. Peace out, and I shall catch you all soon.